You ever feel like someone's watching your every move? Like every single thing you do, every single word you say is being scrutinized by some higher authority? Like there is some sort of judgment hanging over your head waiting to pounce on you for the slightest slip-up? Well, you're not wrong. You literally have thousands of eyes watching you at all times. It's just that most people are too blind to see it, and they've built their entire life around it. They get upset when others don't view them how they want to be viewed. They lash out at others for not treating them how they think they should be treated, but the reality is they've been lied to. They've been sold a lie that there is a world full of people who QE and wait to listen to what they have to say, that people will break their backs trying to make them happy, and all that matters is if you're sincere. Like people are gone now, look at your sincerity and determine whether or not they want now listen to you. People aren't looking for sincerity. People are looking for entertainment. They're looking for something that validates their worldview. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, and this is how the persona controls your public identity. And today we're going to go over episode 6. If you haven't watched episode 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, please go back and watch those episodes before continuing on with this one, because the further you go without watching the previous episodes, the less coherent this information will be to you. Now, if you've watched episode 5, you already know that we talked about how your persona is made up of two parts, which are your ego state and your game face. Your ego state is how you normally are in day-to-day situations. It's how you are when no one is really paying attention to you. And then you have your game face, which is how you act when you're playing the game. When you're aware that you're being judged, that's when you put on your game face. And one of the things that we touched on in episode 5 was that you need to decide what version of yourself you're going to put forward into the world. The problem with this is that most people are so inconsistent that you never know what you're going to get from them. And because of that inconsistency, you don't trust them. Now, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The one currency in the world is trust. Without it, you're screwed. You won't be able to do anything. So what happens when you're dealing with someone who is highly inconsistent is that they lose a little bit of trust that people had in them, and people just decide to write them off completely. Now, if you're someone who's new to my channel, let me ask you a question. Do you have people in your life right now that you just don't trust? Do you have friends where you feel like you can't be 100% open with them? Or maybe family members or co-workers or even romantic partners? Maybe you're in a romantic relationship right now where you're constantly having to walk on eggshells around that person because you never know what has gone now set them off. Let me tell you something. These are the same exact people who don't trust you either. You might think that you're doing all these things to keep them happy, but the reality is you're redoing all these things to keep the peace because you're afraid of what has gone now happen when you set them off. You're afraid of their reaction, which means deep down you don't trust them. So the reason why you're redoing all these things is because you're trying to manipulate them into trusting you, but you're doing it backwards. Instead of you trying to manipulate them into trusting you, they're trying to manipulate you into trusting them. So a lot of people will start to build up walls around themselves because they feel like everyone else is judging them, so they might as well judge everyone else. So they try to build up these walls to protect themselves from getting hurt. But what they don't realize is that those walls end up hurting other people. So then other people start building walls around themselves to protect themselves from that person. So what you end up having is a couple of people who are just locked in this cycle of distrust. This is why you always hear people saying stuff like, oh, you can't trust anyone. Everyone has an agenda. Everyone is out to get you. There's no such thing as friendship. All these sayings come from people who have been burnt in the past. They've been hurt by other people so badly that they just choose to protect themselves from ever getting hurt again. Here's the thing though. That same exact principle applies to everything else in life. For example, let us say that you're redriving a car and the person that you're redriving with has no idea how to drive. Are you going to put your seatbelt on? Yeah. Because you know that that person isn't capable of handling the situation at hand. You know that they aren't capable of controlling the car, so you have to protect yourself. This is the same exact principle. Once you realize this, it becomes very easy to spot these people. It's very easy to spot these people because all they do is complain. Have you ever noticed that the people who have the most negative things to say about other people are usually the ones with the biggest problems in their own lives? The more problems that they have in their own life, the more they feel like everyone else is also screwed. So they start telling everyone else that they're screwed too. So you have to be careful of the company that you keep, because if you hang around with enough negative people, you're eventually going to become negative yourself. You're going to start to adopt their behaviors and their attitudes towards life. This is why the Bible says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Here's the thing though. Even though it's important that you protect yourself from these types of people, you still have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. You still have to be willing to interact with other people, because if you don't, you're never going to grow. You've never be able to get anywhere in life if you refuse to take that risk. You ever heard of a social credit score? I didn't think so. It's a new thing. Basically, it's a way of measuring how trustworthy you are as a person, and it's becoming more and more popular in China, but the US is also starting to adopt it. The thing is though, this isn't just a social credit score based on your interactions with other people. It's also based on your online activity. So what you do online can affect your social credit score. which means it can affect how trustworthy you appear to other people. Would you trust a stranger who came up to you on the street and started telling you all their personal information? Like, why would you trust someone who comes up to you on the street and starts telling you all their personal information? It's very likely that they're trying to scam you. They're probably trying to steal your identity or something. The reality is that people are extremely careless with their personal information nowadays. They throw it around left and right. And the worst part about it is that most people don't even realize that they're redoing it. Have you ever posted something online that you later regretted? You got drunk and posted something stupid. Or you got angry and lashed out at someone online, or you posted a picture that you thought was funny but everyone else thought was stupid. You ever done any of that? Raise your hand if you have. Come on, be honest. Yeah, I've done all those things. I think we've all done those things. We've all been careless with our actions online. The problem with this is that once you post something online, you can never take it back. Even if you delete it, the internet has a way of remembering. There's always a screenshot lying around somewhere. And if someone wants to dig it up, they're probably going to be able to find it. Now, let's take this one step further. What if you did something illegal? Like, what if you hacked into someone's computer, or you leaked someone's private information, or you posted a revenge porn video of someone, or you harassed someone online? Like, what if you did something that could get you arrested? Now, you might think that deleting the post will be enough to save you, but think again. The authorities can track your IP address, and they can find you. In fact, it's very likely that they'll find you. Even if you somehow manage to slip through their fingers, your reputation is ruined forever. No one is ever going to trust you again. This is why it's so important to be mindful of what you're doing online. You need to be aware that everything you do and say can affect your public identity. You need to be aware that everything you do and say can affect how people perceive you as a person. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in episode 7. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you guys next time.